reveal the truth.
Well, believe it or not, there is other news taking place in the world besides what's happening in Ukraine. Jussie Smollet was finally sentenced.
You will spend the first 150 days of your sentence in the Cook County Jail, and that will start today, right here, right now.
I am not suicidal. I am innocent, and I am not suicidal. If I did this, then it means that I stuck my fist in the fears of Black Americans in this country for over 400 years and the fears of the LGBTQ community. Your Honor, I respect you and I respect the jury, but I did not do this. And I am not suicidal. And if anything happens to me when I go in there, I did not do it to myself. And you must all know that. I respect you, Your Honor. I respect your decision. Jail time. I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal.
Stop knocking up our flags.
I am not suicidal, and I am innocent. I could have said that I was guilty a long time ago.
The one-time Empire actor who claimed to have been accosted in the city of Chicago by, quote, MAGA thugs, who declared that was MAGA country because he went for a walk to get a Subway sandwich in 20-degree below zero weather at 2 o'clock in the morning. When he was supposedly accosted, they put a noose around his neck, dumped Clorox on him, and declared it was MAGA country. Because we know the Trump supporters are just in overwhelming numbers in the liberal bastion of the city of Chicago. It never made sense to anyone in the very beginning. The Chicago police knew they were being lied and duped. And for the Chicago police to get indignant about the fact that what's happening is not right in a city as corrupt as Chicago, that has to say a lot. To the point, even comedians like Dave Chappelle said the reason the black community, in particular black celebrities, were so silent during the whole Jussie Smollett flare-up within the media, it was because they knew for a fact he was guilty and they didn't want to say anything, but, you know, he was clearly lying. That is a direct quote from Dave Chappelle. And so now we have Jussie, who has been sentenced. I forget, it's how many months of community service. I mean, actually, it's several years of probation, but he has to serve 150 days, about 5 months in the Cook County Jail, on top of $121,000 restitution back to the city of Chicago, as well as a $25,000 fine. He and his family are incensed. He's actually going to have to see the inside of a jail cell. They really thought he was going to pay a fine and have some type of probation. They never expected jail time. The judge, when you could tell, the judge didn't really want to do this, but at the same time, he was sort of, you know, the evidence is just beyond overwhelming. And he said, you have hurt every real victim of hate crime. You have hurt yourself. You have now become a punchline. This is a quote from the judge. You have become a punchline to comedians that when people are lying to this magnitude, it's going to be called pulling a Jussie. So, defiant to the very end, declaring his innocence, but this continual, I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal. Do you hear the narcissist in this guy? As if in the 5 months he goes away, they're going to try to Jeffrey Epstein him. And if anything happens to him in prison, you'll all know he was not suicidal. So is he already planning this? No, I'm serious. I want to ask this as a real question. This is kind of what I want to get into for a couple of moments on here today. We know what kind of a narcissist he was, that to give his own career a bump and to be giving himself some street cred, that he is a guy on the front lines of the fight for LGBTQ XYZ 1, 2, 3 community, as well as, you know, civil rights and social justice, etc., etc., etc. You know, being the victim himself of a hate crime, that was going to bolster his resume. Of course, then that all blew up, and it found out that he had hired the guys. They went basically to the dollar store to buy their props. And even the judge talked about the months that went into planning this. And he said, you were like writing and directing a script, and he said it was a really bad script. And then he said, and you sat for hours on the witness stand. You didn't have to, but you have the right to testify in your own defense, but you sat there for hour upon hour upon hour, perjuring yourself, lying. See, some of us think that maybe he should have been sentenced a little harder, but, the whole idea, he'd never really been in trouble before, et cetera, et cetera. But, of course, what the family and certain people are going to try to spin this into, he's another black man being victimized by the system. No. What he is a narcissist who tried to use the system to benefit himself financially, bolster his own resume, pull in some more money from Empire because he was that important of an actor that he would be the victim of a hate crime, and that producers need to take him seriously. And now what he's really done is he's nuked his whole career, because really, even the people in Hollywood who will give lip service to standing with him and supporting him, they don't want to be near him. They don't want to be on any projects with him. They don't want to hire him. They aren't going to want to have anything to do with him, because he is trouble with a capital Tr. And they know that. And so that's the end of that. But I'm wondering, is he enough of a narcissist to try to somehow now stage that guards or something tried to do him in at the Cook County Jail, and then do an Epstein and report him as suicide? Will that be the next way he gets attention? Because again, right now, this isn't about his race, this isn't about his orientation, this is about him as an individual. And he is obviously not just a narcissist, this is a sick, twisted individual. And right now we've got a big tech that just absolutely loves to silence and censor the voice, in particular of those on the conservative side of the aisle, and even those that offer any type of dissent, whether it be over COVID and mandates. And now it's almost like COVID has gone away, and you can say anything you want about that. Now the new thing is, you better not be giving out any disinformation regarding what's happening over in Ukraine. And if you say anything that is even remotely taken as a way of being a, quote, defense, or just offering another perspective on what's going over there of Vlad Putin, just a month ago, the very army that defends Ukraine was not allowed to be mentioned on Facebook or social media because they were white supremacist neo-Nazis. Now, that's not what Vlad Putin said. That was actual guidelines of Facebook. And now that ban has been lifted. You can say all kinds of praise about the, I believe it's pronounced Azov Battalion, which is the defense battalion of Ukraine. Can say anything you want about them now. That's all okay. You can't say anything against them. That'll get you in trouble. That'll get you censored. That'll get you removed. And the reason I bring all that up is with Jussie Smollet. Here is a guy who is absolutely trying to game the system for his own personal benefit. And where's the radio silence now on him that he needs to just go away and do his thing? And will they now try to portray anything that might happen to him? Somebody giving him a cross look in the lunch line, that's it. They tried to Jeffrey Epstein me. I mean, this is beyond the pale. Donald Trump still can't tweet. If he appears on anybody's podcast that gets carried by YouTube pulls it down. But Vlad Putin still has all of his social media platforms here in the U.S., Twitter, Facebook, etc., etc., etc. They're all hot and they're all active. And he's trying to assassinate the saint of Ukraine. But Donald Trump can't tweet or post? And get ready, because Jussie Smollett, being the actor that he is, here comes the sequel, baby. He will try to orchestrate his Jeffrey Epstein in the Cook County Jail. And here we go again. If nothing else, it's entertaining.